If you're anything like me, then at some point you've built a starter base and a simple storage room in your Minecraft world. And then you outgrow it and you move to a new location and you build another base with another basic storage room, but this time you say to yourself, maybe I'll do an auto sorter next time. And then when you outgrow that base and that storage room, you look into some tutorials for some auto sorters, and they were so complicated and so scary that you just build another regular storage room, but just on a much bigger scale than all the other ones. And then years pass and you just deal with the mild inconvenience of running multiple marathons whenever you finish a project and put all the items away. Until one day you wake up and you read the news and see that Mojang decided to add a mob to the game that solves your exact problem. So today we're going to be trying to overhaul our entire storage room to finally add auto sorting using the new Copper Golem. I have no idea if this is going to work, but if we could pull this off, this may just change the game forever. But before we can get to all that, the other day I was doing some light terraforming around the island when I came across this cat just running around. I think it came from the iron farm, but I don't actually think I've ever had a cat in Minecraft before, so I booked it to my storage room to grab some fish and to tame it. And for some reason, I got the urge to name him Toenail, so he's going to be joining us on our journey today. In case you haven't seen it before, my storage room is broken out into a few sections. Down here in this bottom section, we have all of our items. So we have like our, ores, items, food, like mob drops and stuff over here on this side. And then on the second level, this is all of our block storage. So this makes up the bulk of the chests. Each slice of the storage is all related to the blocks on the top. So for example, this oak wood slice here has all my log variants up top here. Then my plank variants down here, and then my miscellaneous ones down here like fences and stairs and stuff. And that same idea was applied to every single block in the game across the entire room. And then this section over here is for our bulk storage, which is mostly all of the stone variants. So instead of storing the individual blocks in these chests, I store shulker boxes that are just completely full of the item. So when I come drop it off, let's say I fill up this shulker box here with stone, I just click on this button, grab the box, and I'll just put a brand new one down here. Okay, so let's get into the list of requirements that I have for this project. So firstly, it needs to obviously work with both levels of this storage room. So it needs to work with both the block level up top here and then the item level that we have down here. And then the next requirement that we have is that I can't change how I'm sorting in these chests or the layout of the actual chests in the room. I've grown really attached to how I laid this all out, and if I had to re-memorize where all the items are, I think I would literally die. Okay, and then next we need to be able to use it to also sort our shulker boxes. So right here is a pile of shulker boxes that I've been collecting for a couple of weeks now, which has just a bunch of remnants of some projects that I've done around the base. And so I'd like to be able to take these and put them all into like a chest or something and have it unload all of the contents of these into all of my chests. And then lastly, any items that can't be sorted by the copper golems into these chests, whether I just don't have a chest for those items or the chest that I have set for them is all full, needs to go into an overflow area for me to review at a later date and time. So let's get started by learning some mechanics and how these guys work and how we can apply them to our storage room. So for example, if I put the wood blocks in here, what I'm looking for him to do is to find the proper chests up here that those blocks should go to. Unfortunately, he's already putting it in some chests that were a little bit empty. Okay, so unfortunately, I'm already starting to notice some behavior that I kind of already knew, which is one, that he can only remember up to the contents of 10 chests at a time, and in this particular section of the storage room, we have 15 chests. And then the second issue is that he can't reach the top chests without, I think, probably a block for him to step on. Which brings us to our alternative solution, which is to put the copper golems behind all of the chests. Now, thankfully, I had the foresight not to put anything behind this section. So like even in like the corner sections over here, there's actually nothing behind these chests. And I'm really glad that I decided to do that, because if we didn't have space back here for the copper golems, I don't think it would have ever been possible to add an auto sorter into this storage room at all. Okay, so I think I have a little bit of something here. So if I put 16 oak logs into this chest, so he's going to fail to find something in these 9 chests to put the wood away. And then once he gets through all 9 chests and gives up, he's going to look for a 10th chest since he can remember 10, and he's going to put the wood in this one right here because it's empty. The only problem I've found, though, is that if he comes and checks this chest here, sometimes he'll just put it right in this one right here because he starts looking at the chest that's closest to the copper chest. But I think moving the chest up here has pretty consistently had him check these ones first, like even if he's pretty close to that one. Oh, never mind. Okay, so in this case, the next thing that we're gonna have to do, because this guy is going to check all 9 chests, fail to find the oak logs, and that's okay because he needs to put the oak logs up here. The next thing that we're gonna need to do is actually pass these drops to another copper golem. Okay, and if we have a hopper coming under this chest, so like the logs end up here, and then we get another copper golem for right here, the items from this chest that this guy can't sort will be passed into this chest down here where this guy should be able to sort. And now I think I'm seeing the error of my ways. So this guy is going to endlessly sort this chest into this chest, and the hopper is just gonna keep him busy like this. One must imagine the copper golem happy once again. Alrighty, so I've cleaned up this room a little bit, I've made it look a little bit prettier, and I've been playing around with these guys for quite a while, and this is working pretty well, but I do have one big problem with this. Actually, really 2 problems. The first one, actually 3 problems now that I'm thinking about it. The first problem is that it uses a lot of hoppers, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hoppers. It's not that like I'm broke or anything on iron. It's just that I don't want a lot of hoppers in my main base because it does add to lag and stuff. My second issue is that I don't actually know where I would then put the chest for like the next like set to go through. We would have to go somewhere here, but then that would be over the hoppers, and I'm sure I could figure it out, but I don't really want to because I think I have a better idea in mind. And then my third and final problem with this setup is that, I'm sure you've heard it, they're just clanking these chests like non-stop. And I feel like if I had these go in like everywhere in like 80 to 100 copper golems in here, and if I have to hear that sound like non-stop, I think I'm gonna lose it. And I was feeling a little bit claustrophobic inside, so Toenail and I are actually going to work on some designs outside, see what we can come up with out here. Okay, so now we have a slice of our chest room out here outside, and the back has a lot more space for us to play around with. So my first thought is to try to use, mine carts to house this guy. So like, can I get this guy inside this mine cart here? Okay. Oh, come on. All right, so if we push this guy off and then we put him on top of a mud block here. So like, I guess let's put his chest right here. Let's take some birch stairs and put it in here. Is he going to be able to take those birch stairs and put it into this chest over here? He's checking that chest over there, that one. Okay, and he put the items in here. Okay, so this is working. And can I like, wonder if I could just nudge him a little bit closer into the chests over there. Maybe he's already nudged forward because like I see him, like, yeah, like the minecart's like clipped into this chest here. I wonder if that counts. Let's grab some oak logs, put it here, and then he should put the oak logs instead of into one of these 9, he should put it in this one here. Okay, wait, that worked. That totally worked. Okay, let's have him do it one more time just to make sure that we're all set, but I think that it'll be the same behavior every time. Okay, yeah, this totally worked. It totally worked. Okay, so I know what you're thinking. I'm gonna put these guys in their mine carts and they're just gonna sit there for their entire lives, and you wouldn't be wrong. I think it's in every Minecraft player's blood to have a new mob added to the game, and then immediately our first thought is to just enslave it for our own personal gain. And then the other thing that I wanted to try was to actually try to do 2 of them in the same exact slot. So like, oh no. Oh no. I'm losing it over here. I can't get this guy in the minecart. I'm gonna need to, oh my. Okay, don't ask me where those 2 copper golems went. They went the same place that your goldfish did when you were a kid. They just ran away. I've gone through a lot of copper golems at this point. I'm also running out of pumpkins. Oh my, okay. This is a regular pumpkin. I don't even have more carved pumpkins on me, and to be honest, I don't know how to get carved pumpkins because I'm trying to click it with an axe. I don't think it's that. It might be shears. Where are my shears? Okay, shears. Okay, yeah, I think we're actually even gonna need to make a pumpkin farm this episode because I'm not having a good time. Okay, got both of them in here now, but I don't know if they're in like the right spot. Like if I break this, are they just gonna go like flying out of here? Like I'm gonna lose it if that happens. Okay, I think we might just do it with one copper golem because I have no idea how to get just one. There are more than one on this track. Okay, Toenail, it's a new day, and we've calmed down since our last clip, and I think we've been really cooking over here. So I think we have actually most of our design all set here. So if I take these oak logs and I put them in here, he'll actually be able to grab like diagonally one block down into this copper chest, which is really good. And then like I had in the last couple of clips, you know, he'll check these 9 first because he's pushed up into this chest. And then lastly, he'll go into this one here once he can't find a match for these oak logs. And then he'll put the oak logs into this chest here where they'll just go through these hoppers into this copper chest here where this guy will be able to repeat the same process. Now, he'll only be able to access these 6 chests here because he's like one block over. Like this guy is in the middle of 9. This guy's in the middle of just these 6 over here, which is okay because this is kind of how our storage room is set up. Okay, and then I think the last problem that we need to solve, at least for now, is the clanking. So like I said in the last couple of clips, they're going to just be grabbing from this chest at all times, even when it's not full. I'm a relaxed guy, I like relaxed vibes, and I don't want to listen to clank, 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 clank all the time. So my first thought is, what if we just put a block above this chest? I'm assuming that this is going to block them and they won't be able to reach inside this anymore. Correct, it's now completely silent and serene and really nice. But what if we just did something a little bit smaller, like a trap door? If I put a trap door on top of these, will he try to open it underneath? Because sometimes mobs don't see this as a solid block. No, I think we're actually okay. They haven't tried to open these chests yet. And then what if I just flip this up now? Oh, okay, this is huge. Okay, so we could potentially detect using like a comparator, like, hey, there's items in this chest, flip up the trapdoor, he can grab it. If it's empty, we flip the trapdoor down, and then he won't be able to access what's inside this chest at all. But before we get any farther with that project, we do need to build ourselves a pumpkin farm because we're running out of pumpkins. Okay, so we have our pumpkin farm all set up here. We have a really simple, small setup. We have some observers just checking the stem block. So as soon as the stem grows over into the pumpkin here, the observer will trigger the piston, and then the pumpkins will go through this hopper line and then get carried up into this barrel where we already have 2 whopping pumpkins. Hopefully this will get us enough for the amount of copper golems that we'll need for this project, but we'll just let this run for a little bit. I got really lazy with the item sorter here. I didn't want to bring any items up using water streams or anything like that, so we just have a copper golem here. You may be thinking, oh, small guy, you have this guy trapped inside this little corridor here. You're such a monster. Don't worry, I'm going to give him a little painting to look at so he doesn't get bored. All right, come on, Toenail. We have an auto sorter to build. Okay, now that we got our design all picked out, the next thing that we're going to have to do is actually clear all of the area behind all these chests. So we're going to have to do a lot of digging. Some of it's already dug out, like I already had this section here, but we are just going to have to dig out a big area, enough space to work with so we're not cramped, and enough for all the copper golems and the redstone that we're going to need for this farm. And now that we have our area cleared out behind our chests, I think it's finally time to start the auto sorter. There are a few details that I still haven't quite figured out yet, but I'm sure it'll be fine. Mainly, I haven't figured out where I'm actually going to feed the items into the sorter and how I'm going to get the items from one slice of chests over to the other with these hallways in between them. But if you made it this far into the video and you want to see more like it, you should really consider subscribing. And also joining my Discord that's linked down below will get you the world download to check this out for yourself, and also you can get chatting with other members of our great community. So let's hit one final time lapse to really bring this project to life. Okay, so I think we may have actually completed every single goal that we set out to do with this, and I couldn't be prouder. But I still haven't really tested this at all, so it could still fail absolutely spectacularly. But before we turn it on for the first time, let's do a quick breakdown on how it all works, and also talk about why I chose to build it this way. So going down this hallway over here, on this side, we actually have two chests over here where I can input all my blocks and items. So in this chest here is the auto sorting for the blocks. So if I put blocks into this chest here, it'll take them out of it and then sort them through the top level of the storage room up here. And if I put items into the second one over here, the item sorting one, it'll skip over all the chests that are on the top level and just take them directly down here below to this level here and sort them through these three walls. However, if, for example, I accidentally put items into this chest here, like the blocks one, they will eventually end up on the second level down here, but it'll just take a lot longer since they'll have to go through all of the copper golems and all the chests on the second level before getting down to the bottom level here. And also, this copper golem oxidized. This was one of the first ones that I had made. He turned into a statue, so I just put him up here. I can't believe how cute, yet also kind of creepy this guy is. I love all the little poses that he could do, but for now, we'll just keep him sitting down here. So just to start, if we put some dirt here into this top chest, we should see all of this just start to work. So if we just pop back here in our temporary little access corridor, don't judge me, but you'll start to see our spaghetti of hoppers and redstone that make this entire thing work. It's by no means elegant back here, but I do think that it works, so it's just gonna be the way that it is. I also made sure that every single copper golem had a painting to look at. These guys over here have even bigger paintings to look at because, like I said before, I'm no monster, okay? So how this will start is that the items, so like the dirt that we just put in here, will go to this copper golem first. So he's going to check these chests, and if he can't find any dirt, which these ones are the wood chests, he'll pass it on to the next copper golem, who also won't be able to find the dirt in these chests, and he'll pass it on. So after these guys check all 15 of these chests here, they'll actually pass it on to this slice of chests here, and that happens through a water stream. So you'll see the dirt coming up through here, through this water stream, and it'll start at this copper golem next, and he'll just pass it along until it gets to the dirt, which should be this copper golem right here. And the same thing will happen rotating through our entire storage room. So if we put it a different block, it'll just continue along this way here. Hello, toenail. And it'll just go kind of clockwise through the entire storage room, ending in that section over there. But if, for instance, we were sorting some wool in there, and those are these last three chests slices over here, it would take the absolute longest because any wool that I put in that would have to go through the entire storage room, every single copper golem, every single chest until it gets here. And if by the time that it gets to this section here, they're not able to match any items into any of the chests, they'll get passed down into the bottom level here. So if we just take a peek back here, the same sort of thing is happening. A bunch of copper golems are just sitting here awaiting some items, and as soon as something goes into the chest here, they'll start getting active and sorting all the items throughout this level down here. And if none of these copper golems can find a match for any of the items, there is an overflow that's back here. I do need to make a prettier way of sorting through this stuff, but for now, the island of misfit blocks is here, and anything that's not sorted will end up in these two chests here. And just for quality of life, if I didn't want to run all the way up here just to sort items, because oftentimes I just come back from like an adventure or something, I just have some mob drops, and I want to sort it in our chests here, I can also use this chest right here to auto sort just the bottom level worth of items. So if I just wanted to grab that bucket, that bucket I could just toss in there and it'll make its way over into this chest over here. The only caveat to using this one on the bottom here is that if I put any blocks accidentally into that chest, then they will all end up in that overflow section because the items won't make their way through this and then back up. It'll only go from up to down. But by far the most interesting thing that this thing has going for it is the shulker box sorting. So like we said in the beginning, there needed to be a way to just dump a bunch of shulker boxes off and have those sorted completely through this room here. And I will get to that in just a second. But first, I kind of wanted to just talk about, why I chose Copper Golems for this storage room instead of using like a redstone-based item sorter. So before the Copper Golem was added to the game, people used to make either single item sorters or multi-item sorters that all used a bunch of hoppers and then just different redstone magic. And these setups were great, but to be honest, they never really fit my play style. Single item sorters tended to make really large storage rooms that were too long, and I mean, let's be real, who needs a single chest in an item sorter for waxed, exposed, cut copper stairs? And multi-item sorters, at least at the time that I was looking into them for this storage room, were not really for me. They were really expensive to build, and they were really prone to clogging if they were ever unloaded. And I figured more often than not, I'd be coming flying into my storage room, dropping off a bunch of stuff here, and then leaving or logging off, going to my next adventure. And I didn't think it was really worth it to have an auto sorter where I would have to stick around and wait at and make sure that all the items were sorted without it clogging up. And most importantly though, they could also break from version to version, so if Mojang ever made a change to how some redstone components worked, I would be left with just a useless, expensive machine in my base. So these guys for sure aren't the fastest way to sort the items by any means necessary, but they're probably the most consistent, easiest to implement, and, honestly, most suitable for casual players like myself. So I think it's finally time to give it the test with the shulker box method here. We've got hundreds of just random items throughout all these shulker boxes that I want to have sorted using our auto sorter. So if I just take all of these shulker boxes with me, back up into here, into this hallway, so like I said, these are the blocks, these are the items, and then this one over here is for our shulker boxes. So if we just take and throw a couple into this water stream, they'll be going up there, and then if we just pop back here one more time, just to show you what's going on back here, they go into this machine, which is a shulker box unloader. So each of the shulker boxes that I put in here will end up in this machine where they'll end up here, and you'll see all the items are starting to come through the shulker boxes into this section down here and then over to our very first Copper Golem sorters. So you'll see this start to fill up. These guys are going to get to work. And now all we do is just cross our fingers and hope that this works well and sit back and enjoy the magic of the Copper Golems. Well, it looks like all the sorting has finally finished up. All the Copper Golems have stopped opening up all the chests, so I assume it's all set. So let's just check back here to see how much was unsorted from here. And actually, it's, a little bit, but it's not really as much as I had thought would be, unsorted. And all it means to have items in this chest is either that I didn't have any in any of my existing chests, or the last time that I took them out of where they were, I didn't leave any items behind. Overall, I think this is going to save us so much time in the future, both for large sortings when I finish up projects, or even just dropping off some quick items to be sorted that I just used. And don't forget, Toenail is a really big fan too. Well, I appreciate you guys watching all the way to the end. If you want to see more, be sure to check out my last video where I planned 5 years of builds in this exact world. And if you guys are coming from that video, you can see we've already accomplished another goal that we set out to do last time. And it looks like we left this shulker box here, so time to go sort it.